Hello, good morning. This is the 12th daily update here. I think it's 12. Yep, it's 12. Um, so just some updates from yesterday. So I followed up on the apartment in Eagles Landing and reached out to the roommates and everything. And actually, I got some responses from two of the three roommates already. And I think it's a good option. The roommates seem very easygoing and good, reasonable people. Um, they did say that there is noise in the apartment at night, some noise that, they cook and maybe do laundry at night and they could be on the phone or something. But I feel like I can deal with that, like I can invest in some noise canceling setup and so to make sure that I'm able to sleep during nighttime. So that's not worrying me too much. Um, so yeah, so I guess the next step with that is for today. Um, Sometime in the afternoon, I'll probably go to the Eagles Landing office and see if I can finally um, get the lease and sign it. And then we'll move in tomorrow. So time has flown by, and hopefully we're now within sight of figuring this out. Um, so that was the first thing. I also have the insurance situation that I'm still waiting to hear back um, from the insurance people about whether the claim is approved. Um, According to the timeline that I was given, I should be told any time now. So they said 5 to 7 business days, which should be Wednesday to Friday this week. So we'll see. Hopefully they can get back to me by um, today, and we can move forward with that. Finally, there is the legal document that I was thinking about, and so for that, so it's essentially like waive off any liability on my end and on the landlord's end for the flooding or anything associated with the lease. I was told that this is a good idea to do. Um, it's like a important legal protection. So that might be a good idea. It's just I'm afraid to bring that up because then it might make them think that um make the landlord in Eagles Landing think that I had something to hide if I present them with this document. So I'm afraid of just making the situation worse. So I'm not sure whether to go ahead and actually invest the time and energy and push for getting this sort of document agreement done, or whether it's best just to move out and terminate the lease and not bring up this issue anymore. Especially if the renter's insurance claim does get approved, the move might just be to kind of just slip, by not rouse any sleeping dogs, by having this, by trying to get them to sign this legal document. Um, so that's something still to be decided on. I do need to maybe call my mother today and talk over this, or my brother, or just someone that I can trust, that can that I can talk this through with to decide sort of how to proceed forward. So that's pretty much it. In terms of that, yesterday I also talked to the girl in the leasing office from Cavalier Crossing. Um, so I talked to her, and she's very cute. And yeah, I but yeah, that went okay. And yeah, I apologized to her because well, because I had kind of asked her out during work. So I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I did that." That's not ideal, of course. I should have done it at another time, but I think she was okay with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, I'm also talking to another girl on Bumble is the app name. It's sort of like Tinder, but I find it better, to be honest. Um, like I feel like people on there are more genuine. So that's good. So yeah, that's pretty much been it. Um, so so that's everything with the rent situation. Hopefully this should, hopefully, I'll be able to resolve most of this, if not everything, by this Friday. So one more day or 2 more days of, dealing with this situation, and then things should be figured out. And yeah, I also yesterday I attended a group meeting. I did some work actually on the paper, and I made surprisingly quick progress on the first step, which was I had these like density of states results, and I wanted to know what I can say with them. And I think I had a sort of breakthrough in thinking about this issue. So I do think that uh, uh, that would be good. So yeah. So today, I'm essentially going to continue working on this problem, working on writing this paper. And yeah, I also reintroduced exercise finally. Right now, the habit is just to put on my shoes. I feel that it's a good idea for the habit, like good starting point, because it's small, it's something that you can build upon. And also, right now, in this temporary housing that I'm in, uh, I can't really, not comfortable really like going for runs and stuff. So, and it's just going to take a lot of headache and to coordinate that. Um, because I have all my stuff is packed and stuff. Um, so so it's hard to coordinate that. So I'm just establishing the habit of at least putting my shoes on and getting the playlist on, and then later on um I'll actually once I move to the new place I'll start actually exercising. So that's that. Um, and let's see if there's anything else. Nothing really that I can think of. I guess the only thing is that while I was in the group meeting yesterday, while I was attending that, I kept getting this like I don't know. I felt very bad because I felt like my advisor thought that I was kind of useless or worthless or that I was lazy, and like clearly I'm not interested in the subject, and clearly I've been kind of pushing off my work. So he is kind of right, and that really bothers me. And I just kept kind of thinking, yeah, I just kept thinking like about, uh, like it's kind of stupid, but I had this like fantasy of making this big discovery and like being celebrated by everyone, Um, and of course, they would be there and they would recognize it at last, like that I was like a hidden gem, um, that I was like super smart. And so that was, I guess, a compensatory fantasy that was very gripping, very attractive. Um, but I guess that is proof that I do not, that I do want to be seen as um, hardworking, and I do want to be seen as productive, and I do want to be seen as um, competent, and and that deep down I don't feel like that I either deserve that or that I did that, and I feel like I'm being judged that way. Um, so I guess I mean the fantasies about how I'm going to make this breakthrough and be like the darling of the world, like that's probably um I don't know if that's healthy or not. Probably it's not healthy. Um yeah, I just at that when that happened, I was just thinking to myself, like asking God to make me more humble, you know. I like to call myself uh a Dominicanus, the dog of God, which is I feel like really good way of viewing yourself. Like it's humility and it's purpose, and um it's also like beats in that sense of like guidance, that you're not just acting on your own independent will, but that you're following the guidance of a master, like. So yeah, and so I'm just a dog of God, and not even, I'm probably would be like the runt of the litter. So um yeah, so that's pretty much it. um so I guess the only possible solution to that is to um, build on that daily habits that I have, slowly but surely, as slowly as possible, just to make sure that, nothing breaks. But I essentially have most of the habits now that I feel like I need to have in order to keep my, um, like, to care for my basic needs and stuff. Um, and, uh, and so really, uh, I have the basic habits all completed. Maybe I'll introduce a little bit more of like a social element to some of the stuff that I do, but I'll try to incorporate that into my habits so that I'm not overextending myself. Um, but it would be nice to have some sort of regularized social contact. I feel like that would be healthy for me to have. Not too much. I don't need too much, nor do I want too much, but I think I would like at least one activity um, that I regularly do, where I can have one friend who can accompany me there. And um, I would like to have this activity kind of repeat itself at least multiple times a week. So that I have this activity that I can look forward to, where I go and I meet at least one guy that is a friend. Um, I think that would be good. And I think that might actually be enough social contact. And so it would be that, and I guess dating, if that ends up being something. Those would be the only two things um that I think I would need socially. And then maybe also to have some sort of connection with my college friends. I think it would be good to keep those bonds strong. Um, and yeah, so that would be the only other real habits that I need to do. And then everything else I think should be pushed towards this sort of deep work, um, like trying to make me more comfortable with that. Nothing overwhelming, nothing too fast, but just gradually incrementally improve until I'm satisfied with the level of output that I'm putting forward. And again, that doesn't mean working like 8 hours a day. Um, like right now, I would say I'm maybe averaging about an hour to an hour and a half of like real work every day. Um, and to be honest, I'm making good progress at that, even with that small amount of work. And so I think if we and when I say of work, I don't mean like for example, I wouldn't count group meeting as work. Um, uh, I'm talking more about like the times when you sit down and you're doing a bunch of things, like, and you're really concentrating. So that doesn't account for like going out and checking on the tanks, or like stuff that you do like throughout the day, or when you're kind of relaxing and doing a little bit of work. I'm talking about like sitting down and actually doing work. I'd say I'm about at an hour a day of that. And um, and yeah, and uh, so it's actually going pretty well with that. Like even with an hour, like I'm doing a lot more than I usually do, which is good. Um, so I think I might not need to increase that number that much before I'm sort of doing enough to get by. And I think my first strategy is just to get by, which for me at the moment just means publishing the paper, publishing and working on the dissertation, and applying for more jobs or thinking about what I want to do. Those are the only three things that I think I am or should be thinking about or worrying about in the coming 6 months or so. Um, so we'll see how things go. Um, but yeah, so we'll be working on that slowly but surely. Okay. All right. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's that's worth doing or worth talking about. Oh yeah, so I am going to a Jordan Peterson event uh next week. So it's next Wednesday evening, and I'm very, very excited for that. Um, but I do have some things to do before then to prepare. I need to kind of get a good suit. I need to um, maybe go and either groom myself well or, like prepare in some way for this event, um, like my appearance and stuff. And I also need to really iron out the questions that I want to ask. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some questions prepared that I'm going to try to address in person. And I'm going to have like a supplemental written document just in case if we do meet, I can give it to him. If I don't have time to really talk to him, I can give it to him and tell him, like, and it can contain some of all the questions that I have, um, but yeah, so that was my idea. I still haven't really thought it out. I think I've been kind of overwhelmed with this moving process, but hopefully by Friday, the moving stuff should be behind me and I can spend the weekend really thinking about this. And I'll have plenty of time. I have several days before the actual event to prepare um, appropriately. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's another thing that is on my mind. I think the question I'm going to ask is the question that you guys are familiar with. I've asked before, like, why doesn't God? Why doesn't God um, physically appear, physically manifest Himself in the world? Um, that's really the question. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But I need to formulate it so that it's as strong and as concise as possible. Distilled version of that question and pointed uh, uh, distilled version of the question. So we'll see. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Sorry I talked for a while, but that was fun. It was like a dump, I talked about all the things that are going on right now, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on what happens. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll be telling you that I'm, about to move in or something. So wish me luck, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.